it's Elizabeth Wales. I'm a mom, I'm a health educator, but most importantly, through struggles of my own, I have found solutions that I'm excited to share with you. And today, with me sharing solutions is the amazing Dr. DeSesa from Back to Health Chiropractic. He's been a practicing chiropractor for over 21 years. He's a marathon runner. He's run the Boston Marathon. As a matter of fact, just yesterday morning, he was a part of a run, a virtual one, actually.
Yes, virtual marathons. It's a big deal right now because everything's going on.
Okay,
yeah.
so
small part of it. I ran a couple miles.
Well, but the cool thing is, guys, he did like 2 miles in 15 minutes. I know, my mind's blown. That's amazing. Woo! And today we're going to be talking about some of the deadly foods that we want to avoid to keep our health in good shape and prevent chronic illnesses. So what are some of these foods that we want to avoid? I want to know if I'm eating any.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to start off at the very top of this. We'll work our way down. Top of the ones being the ones you should avoid the most. So at the very top of the list is the donut. Yes, the donut. I'm just a messenger. I'm sorry, but yes, the donuts they taste good. They're often one of those morning breakfast treats, but the face the reality of it, it's just not a very healthy food. And not only is it really devoid of nutrients that we're missing out on, but it also contains some toxic compounds which are known carcinogens. So let's talk about that for a second.
Can you explain to everyone what a carcinogen is, please?
Okay, so carcinogens are things that cause cancer. Like we know that they're going to promote cancer. They're going to start them. They're going to maintain them. So these are things that like when you see carcinogenic, that's something you just want to avoid flat out.
It kind of makes sense that we have such a rise in cancer in the United States, but I mean most people are eating donuts still.
Yeah, they're still a mainstay, aren't they?
Yeah.
So let's break it down a little because I do want you to understand not just why I don't want you to, but the why of what the problem is. So first of all, let me ask you: when they use a flour in the donut, are they using really high quality, organic, whole wheat flour? What do you think?
Well, they're probably using the flour that's genetically modified, and it's probably been, of course, sprayed with pesticides, so it's not organic. And the American palate really goes for that bleached white stuff. So
yeah, so you hit it on the nail, which means it's pretty much devoid of any nutrients. Everything's been pounded or pulverized out of it. They've bleached it. Now it's this dough they make the dough out of. Now when they take that dough and what's the next step for the donut? How do they cook that?
Ooh, put it in some hot oil.
Really hot oil. Oh, let me guess. It's a really high quality oil like coconut or avocado, right?
Are you kidding? I think the donut companies will go out of business if they had to pay for that.
Yeah.
They're probably going to have to find something lower quality and just the standard vegetable oil that's been processed a lot.
Yeah, most likely you're on that one. I think you got it. And it's going to be adulterated processed oil so it doesn't degrade or break down to give that burnt oil taste. So it's chemically altered, and then they cook it, and then what do you think the next step is? It's going to taste great at this point, right? It's going to come out of that hot oil. It's going to taste delicious, right?
Everyone's going for fried dough.
Yeah,
we've got to have something sweet on it.
Yes, right? So when they do sweet, what they typically it's a glaze, like a sugar glaze. Tons of calories, no nutritional value. Oh, I like mine with chocolate on it. How about that cacao that they use, that fresh, organic, untreated, and processed cacao? No, it's not. It's going to be fully treated and fully processed. So now we've got this. Now your average donut is going to be very high in calories. Can be 200-300 calories per donut,
goodness.
Right? So
you can eat like an entire sandwich with everything for 300.
Yeah, that's a lot of food of something that's got high nutritional content, right? It's going to make you feel full, but not a donut. It's not going to make you feel full. In fact, as soon as it gets in the stomach, it just pulverizes down to practically nothing.
So do you never eat donuts?
You know what? I do have my little vices. I do love food. I'm a foodie. I do allow myself 2 donuts a year. Yeah.
What are the special occasions for those 2 donuts?
Well, it's become kind of a routine for Thanksgiving to do our Thanksgiving morning donut. So I do it then, and also on the 4th of July, I allow myself. Now, why those 2 particular holidays is another thing involved with those 2 holidays for me. One, Thanksgiving turkey trot. Yeah, I like to sign up for those. I like to start my Thanksgiving off with a caloric deficit, so I will run like a madman on Thanksgiving morning.
Nice.
And then also the 4th of July 5K, 10K. I do both. I like to do 9K.
So plan a 5K or 10K,
15K,
and
yeah.
Or 15K.
15K,
Why
yeah,
not? Let's keep going.
9 miles to start off right.
And then have your donut.
And then you can justify those extra calories. And you know what? Honestly, when I do the donut, I rarely get through the whole thing. I'll get about, first couple bites are always great. By the time I get past halfway, I'm like, you know what, I start to feel it's not so good. So
it's like gonna be like Po and Kung Fu Panda, right?
Yeah.
Hey, come and get it, come on. It's not
donut
worth
motivation.
it. The run's worth it, but not the donut.
Yes, right.
So what else is on the list?
Okay, so next on that list is going to be soda. Yep, at the number 2 position. If you think about the soda, no nutritional value with it whatsoever, and you're getting a lot of calories if it's a classically sweetened sugar soda. Even if they artificially sweeten it, now there seems to be some studies that indicate that the artificial sweeteners wreak a bit of havoc with the microbiome.
Interesting.
Microbiome is that healthy bacteria in your gut that keeps a balance and helps to break down the food so we can assimilate them into the system.
And it's like something that everyone's heard at some point, that soda's not good for you, and yet it's such a high sale item. People are buying liters and 6-packs all the time, filling their shopping cart with soda, and we're watching the chronic disease increase, and we're watching obesity levels increase, and we're watching childhood obesity increase, and you know that's a big contributor. Personally, I know people who stopped drinking the diet soda with the artificial sweeteners, and their headaches stopped. So it was definitely messing with their health on that level. And as a trainer, I know people who the first step in their health journey was to just eliminate soda. And within a couple of months, they were able to drop like 10 pounds just by getting rid of those extra drinkable calories.
Yep, that'll maintain that position of not losing any weight if you're going to keep throwing those empty calories into your system. So
it's kind of scary to think of how it accumulates. You know, it's not just the last maybe 2 years you put on 10 pounds, but think about how about the next 2 years and the next 2 years.
It keeps going.
Yeah.
So avoid the sodas. Some good alternatives on that. These days you can get flavored carbonated waters. Sometimes we're addicted to the carbonation of the soda. So you can get stuff that's just like this regular carbonated water. You can add to it flavors that you like squeeze some lemon, squeeze some orange into it. Natural alternatives to that. You can even get some that are already pre-flavored that don't have artificial sweeteners or sugar in it, and they taste pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So.
And something that's cool about the body is that our body's going to seek the nutrition. And when we are only offering our body a certain select group of foods, we're not going to give ourselves other choices that are higher in nutrients.
Right.
And as we replace these things and we learn that we can have hydration by drinking non-soda, we start to crave those things. It's just that transition period that you have to get through, and then you're going to be happy. We don't feel deprived. Do you feel deprived by not eating donuts more than twice a year?
No, I wouldn't. It's not anything I'll live for.
What else is on the list?
So next on that list, we're going to be looking at potato chips, and that's going to be the number 3. And I'll even throw in the number 4. We're just going to combine both of those together.
But it's a vegetable.
Yes, it is a vegetable. And so are French fries, for that matter, made of potatoes, right? And I'm going to throw in the category of the potatoes. It's not just the potato chips, it's also tortilla chips, corn, flour, tortilla, all those things as well. All the chips are pretty much there. They're not going to be healthy. And again, we kind of get down to that whole thing of how much nutrition is there in them. Well, if you look at the potato, it's got some nutrition, but there's a problem with the potato. Conventionally raised potatoes, not only do they put the pesticides on them, but they also use antifungals to lessen the fungal growth.
So they're just like saturating it with toxins.
Yeah.
And those potatoes are pretty absorbable. Like there's not a hard shell to remove. It's a very small peel.
Yeah, you can peel them, but even then that peel is very thin and things can go through that. So you're getting a double whammy on that one. Now you're going to take that potato and you're going to cook it the same way we did the donut. High temperature oil. Which is going to create the acrylamide. Anytime you take a carbohydrate, you cook it at a high temperature, you're going to create some degree of acrylamide. So they're also present in things like cereals, pancakes also have higher acrylamide content. It's just that these two things, the donuts and the potato chips and the French fries, have even higher content.
And here we are concerned about the cancer, and we're just continuing to consume foods that will give our bodies the fuel it needs to create cancer. That's pretty scary.
It is pretty scary, yeah. So things that you can do on the alternatives with the potato chips, you can seek out some vegetables. Some carrots are nice and crunchy to munch on. You can try even baking kale. Kale chips are kind of fun. You bake them, they're not all deep fried. It takes a little bit of work on those, but once you make them, they're really good. So there's some good alternatives out there.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah.
Thank
seaweed,
you. We're having
some
kale
seaweed.
chips.
There you go. Yeah, seaweed to munch on too. Dried seaweed. That's great.
That's awesome. It's so full of nutrition.
Yes, definitely.
what else is on the list?
So now we get down to the last one, and here's the one that can be a little confusing for most people. It's your deep-fried, non-fish seafood.
What is non-fish?
Yeah, right, great question. So we think of non-fish, we look at the crustaceans, the stuff that kind of lives on the bottom. Yep, that's your lobster, that's your crab, that's your shrimp.
Lobster?
Yeah.
But why? Why can't we eat all these yummy things?
Well, if you think about the life that these crustaceans have on the bottom, they eat whatever lands on the bottom of the ocean. They pick up all the dead stuff that floats from the top, goes down the bottom. And unfortunately, that's not just other marine life base. It's also things like dioxins, which are showing up more and more in the fish. Toxic compound, really awful one. Also, mercury is heavy metals that can end up more in the fish. Mercury tends to bioaccumulate in fish. In other words, the larger the fish, the more chance you have of consuming the mercury.
And don't they also bioaccumulate in the human? Is it hard to get rid of these heavy metals?
Mercury is pretty hard to get rid of. Yeah, it's definitely a tough one to get rid of, and as it bioaccumulates, it creates more and more health problems for us. In fact, the smaller the human, the more detrimental the mercury is going to be. So insurance should never be exposed to it, and then unfortunately, it's out there. So the other thing too, now we talk about the toxic aspect of the bottom dwellers, and now you're going to take one of those bottom dwellers, you're going to roll it around in some flour, and then you're going to breadcrumbs, and then you're going to fry it, which adds that acrylamide content as well, which gets the toxic part of it.
Oh man, so we gotta look at those non-fish and think like, I'm eating a bite of toxins.
Yeah.
And our bodies can handle a certain toxic load, but if we exceed a certain threshold, then we are going to accumulate these toxins, and of course this has been linked to different chronic diseases, and we want to try to prevent those.
Again, if you can cut them out, great, but minimize your exposure to these as much as possible. If you like fish, I'm a big fan of salmon. I like halibut, Alaskan cod. Don't get the farm stuff. I'm not big into the farming of the fish. So clean water sources. Still, things are a little cleaner in Alaska, although pollutants are everywhere these days. But at least get the good stuff that's raised in a healthy, cleaner environment.
There are some good, healthy choices out there.
Yes, there are.
So there's the donuts we want to avoid. So are these on your regular food list? That's the question, right? This isn't like, did you eat it once a year? This is on your regular food list. The donut, the soda, the French fries and potato chips, let's see here, the non-fish.
Deep fried, non-fish,
That's
seafood.
right,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So trying to avoid these fish foods to keep us as healthy as possible. And if you guys are looking for some convenient nutrition, you know that I've been using a complete nutrition system for a couple of years, and I love it. I'm a busy single mom, and I don't have time to always balance my fruits, vegetables, and proteins at the levels that my son and I deserve, and you deserve too. You deserve to have the highest quality nutrition that you can possibly have. When our bodies are full of nutrients, we're going to live our best lives. We're going to be the people we're supposed to be. So if you have any questions about how to get some delicious, nutritious food, this includes like soda replacements. We have a sparkling beverage, a baked chip. Message me or Dr. DeSesa. He started enjoying it as well, and we'd be excited to answer your questions. Now, you have to check out Dr. DeSesa's YouTube channel, The Smiling Runner. He has a lot of great content there, and he's making more all the time. And if you have any questions regarding chiropractic health or about health and wellness, please send us a message, leave us a comment. We are excited to help you have your lifestyle to thrive.
Yeah, if you're in the Valencia area, Back to Health Chiropractic, we have 2 offices in Santa Clarita and Valencia. I'm here for you. Have any questions? I'm also a nationally certified health and wellness expert. So I've been through a certification program. So one of about 400 in the country. So
this is your guy. He helped me with my back pain. The adjustments can help with headaches. They can help with different back pains, and even things like digestion. And yeah, it's fantastic. Not being adjusted, not being aligned correctly really impacts our health in a big way. Well, thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day and a lifestyle to